Okay, everybody. We are joined here by Nia Dennis, UCLA Gymnastics. If you'd like to ask a question, feel free to use the raise hand function and I will call on you.
Wait, can I take my mask off?
All right, we'll start with Tukni from the LA Times.
Nia, after waiting for so long, how did it feel to finally get out there and compete again?
It felt amazing to be back out here in Poly today. It was definitely different with no fans, but honestly, I couldn't even tell because the team's energy was so great and we brought all the energy and the light that we needed to.
Sam?
Yeah, I know a lot of fans were anxious to see your floor routine this year, see what you would do to follow up the viral routine from last year. What do you like most about your routine this year, and how do you think it represents you as a person?
Let's see. Honestly, there's too many parts. I like the whole routine. I can't just decide on one part, but this routine definitely reflects everything that I am today as a woman. And, you know, of course, I had to incorporate a lot of parts of my culture. I wanted to give a tribute to my father. He's Greek. He was in fraternities, and stepping is really big. So I wanted to incorporate that. I wanted to have a dance party because that's my personality. And of course, I had to shout out LA because we out here, UCLA, boards up.
We can go to Haley. Do you have a question? Haley, I think you're muted.
There we go. Okay, just what are your first thoughts on seeing the freshmen out there today and what they can do?
The freshmen are amazing. I love them. I'm so proud of them. They've just come into the team really, really well. And given everything that's been going on this year, a global pandemic, they've adapted so well. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Go back to Tukni.
Nia, what did you think of Sara's bar routine after, she's making her competitive debut in a really big moment?
For real. I'm so proud of Sara as well. Like you just said, it was her college debut and she really had to step up for our team, and that's a lot of pressure, and she didn't fold under pressure. She did everything that she needed to do and she just did it for her team, and I couldn't be more proud.
Sam?
You guys always seem to place a big emphasis on kind of celebrating your teammates' performances. How did it feel to celebrate in a socially distant way? And is that something you've kind of just gotten used to by now?
I'm still not used to it. Honestly, physical touch is my love language, so I really want to hug everybody all the time, all day, every day. But it was definitely hard this week because I just was so proud of everybody and just wanted to hug everyone, but you know, practice safe social distance.
Tukni?
Nia, I'm sure the fans would have loved to be able to be here the first meet, but for those who aren't able to be here, what message do you have for the fans as you guys start your season?
I just want to say that I miss the Den and I love the Den, and I am so thankful for Bruin Nation for always supporting us no matter what circumstances are going on.
Any more questions for Nia? All right, thank you.
Period. Thank you.
Sara Taubman will be next.
Hello.
Hi, Sara. We'll get started. Any questions, feel free to use the raise hand function. We'll start with Tukni from the LA Times.
Hi, Sara. Good to get to talk to you. Congratulations on your successful debut. How did you feel going into this meet, and did you know that you were going to be competing on bars today?
Honestly, I didn't know I would be in lineup. We find out our lineups like right before warm-up, so I always go in prepared to compete and like with the mindset that at any moment I could be in, but I didn't know I'll be competing today, and I was really excited to find that I'm going up, so it felt really good.
How did it feel to finish that routine knowing that your team really needed it following a fall?
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking so much about the fall, but it just felt I really felt like I was doing the whole routine with my team. Like it kind of felt like slow motion, hearing everyone's voice. Kind of as I'm going into that last handstand, I was like I really felt like the whole team was swinging with me. And when I landed, like, I don't know if you could see on my face, it was a good feeling for sure.
Haley or Sam? Haley, you can go ahead.
Just how did it feel getting out there and competing with all of the COVID-19 protocols?
I think we did a really good job of practicing in the gym those same protocols. So when we've been training, you know, it's the same thing, like put your mask on after you turn and just take it off right before. So that actually felt pretty normal because that's how we've been training the entire time. And I really felt good, honestly, like wearing a mask and distancing and doing all that, the protocols, to me really feels like we're showing the world a good example of how to do things even in this crazy time.
Sam?
Yeah, for the 6 competitors you guys had on bars today were making their competitive debuts on the event, obviously, including you. What did it mean for you guys to hit, I think, what, 5 out of 6 routines on bars today?
That was huge, honestly. P, who went last, is also my roommate, and Savvy's also my roommate. And so, I mean, I'm really close with them, and it felt like all of us were kind of pulling together. We got hyped this morning, and it felt like everything just kind of fell into place. And even with the fall going up first, something that I've done this season a lot with Chris, like before I'm gonna go, even in a practice routine, I'm like, okay, give me a situation, like just make it up. And so it was like, I've already practiced that situation. We've already done that. Somebody fell and now you're up, you know? So it kind of felt like, okay, I got this, just playing the game.
Tiffany?
Was one of the situations that you practiced, the judges have a delay and you have to wait for a long time? Is that why you were ready to handle that long judging delay?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, not intentionally that we had said, oh, the judges had a long delay, but in our last couple inter squads, there had been times where there was kind of a longer delay. So I would say that, yes, that is something that we've practiced, but maybe not that long. That felt like a really long time, like just kept going.
So how did you stay kind of composed during that super extended break?
So at first, you know, you tighten your grips at a certain time, and if you tighten them too soon, your hands start to go kind of numb. So I was like, okay, I gotta loosen them, do my reset. Chris like looked at me, he was like, do you want to chalk up again? I was like, yeah, probably. So I chalked up again, and then Nia came up to me and she said something. She said, do it for Nora, because one of our teammates, Nora, hurt her ankle. And so I just was like, in my heart, kind of, it really felt like everything in there was 100% for the team and really for the girls out there, because I was literally one of those little girls. I still feel like that sometimes. But it kind of felt like all these emotions just kind of like coming together, and a little dance party because we were just keeping it light and fun.
Any more questions for Sara? All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll be joined by head coach Chris Waller next.
Thanks, Chris. Love you.
All right, we're joined by head coach Chris Waller. Give him an opportunity to make an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions.
I really couldn't be any more proud of our team. The team love they showed, the heart they showed in getting themselves to be confident with so little preparation. You know, the resilience, the pride they took in each other and in their performances. Like I just couldn't say enough about how proud I am of the character of the team. And I'm also so happy that with the venue having no fans in it, you know, I really felt like it was going to be so difficult to compete. And as was said with some, you know, I think Sara said it, there's so much heart between everybody. They brought their own fans to a degree, and it's nothing like having 10,000 fans in the arena, but they really did surround the team in this bubble of support. So happy that our student athletes got to compete, and happy that they cherished the experience.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Tukni from the LA Times.
Chris, we saw Nora get hurt in warmups. First of all, how is she, and how did that loss impact the lineups so quickly to the start of the meet?
So we were going to be resting her on vault and floor anyway, but to not have her on bars and beam, where she is clearly one of our strongest athletes. I mean, she's one of our strongest on every event, really. It was an immediate blow, and it shocked me. I will say that I do think that, you know, from all challenge, there's an opportunity for growth. And our team was able to have tons of empathy for her while being able to so quickly pivot and adapt, because that's what we've been doing for 10 months. So, you know, it's another, I was obviously very concerned. I mean, our team's a little thin right now because of injuries, and so I was concerned with losing her. I didn't know how the team would respond to it, and you know, they showed her lots of love, but they just stepped up and did it if they could.
Speaking of the bars lineup, what did you think of Sara making her debut in a huge spot for you and kind of steadying the bars lineup after a little miscue from Shay?
It will be one of the most memorable moments in my coaching career. One of the key things I like to do is to help young people break through barriers. And she's had this emotional feeling like maybe she doesn't quite belong. You know, maybe she can't quite break into the lineup. And she's been working really hard at her self-confidence. I introduced her to Alyssa Pritchett, one of our student athletes from, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And Sara reminded me a lot of Alyssa. They're very similar, and she had to go through this path too to figure out how to gain self-confidence. And that connection between the two has been really important for Sara. They spoke today, actually. They speak pretty often, and you know, after the meet, she said, "Yeah, I'm glad I talked to Alyssa before the meet." So yeah, it's one of the greatest things, seeing people break through their personal barriers, because when you do that in athletics, you know, that's a template for life.
Sam?
Shay competed in the all-around in her debut, and Frida also competed on bars and beam. What did impress you the most from their performances today?
Their poise. I mean, you know, gosh, Shay goes out on vault, and the very first thing she does, she blasts the vault and sticks it. Like, she's been doing this for 3 years. You know, her poise out there was incredible. She went to bars and had an unexpected fall, but then again, like, her poise to just come back on the next event, like, oh, nothing happened and I'm doing great. And she just knocks it out of the park on the next two. Really a level of maturity there that we don't expect and we don't often see. But she's been like that from day one. Frida has, ever since she's been at UCLA this year, she's been gaining in self-confidence as well. But you often don't really know what an athlete is like until they're out on the competitive floor. And well, she's a gamer. So everything she did today, she stuck. And, you know, it was really fun to see her smile like that and get a win on the bars in her first meet.
Oh, we can go back to Tukni.
Adhering to COVID protocols, like how you know you have to do it, but just how difficult was it to not just like hug and high five your gymnasts, especially after they perform so well on certain events?
It's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, I can't stand it, whatever, we do support each other in very demonstrative ways with high fives and hugs, and everybody's in their face. And so, yes, we practice that in the gym, but the emotions run higher in competition. So it is hard and it's awkward and it's like, okay. Yay. And that's, you high five yourself. But we're going to do our job and support keeping everybody healthy and try our best to be a good example for the world.
Any more questions? Sam.
Yeah, I wanted to really quickly ask you about the GPAC, the new diversity inclusion organization run by Pac-12 gymnasts. Why do you think an organization like that is so important, and what does it mean for you to be able to coach athletes who are passionate about and committed to furthering equality?
All the things that have happened this year with racial inequality and everybody's attention, including mine, being drawn to that, has opened up our eyes to racism in America that I don't know why so many of us were blinded to. The fact that our student athletes, not just find the time, but are passionate about making a difference in racial equality, along with being great students and great athletes and friends. I couldn't be more proud of that too, that they're showing how to be well-rounded people who are thriving in all parts of their life, and that includes the civic part of it. And I know that many of them are going to go on and make a huge impact in the world, more than they already are.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thank you. That concludes today's press conference.
All right, thank you.